Hello everyone, I'm Arunima from Knit and Otter, and in this video I'm going to show you how to change color while doing Tunisian crochet. So there really are three ways that you can change color in Tunisian crochet, and these are the three where here this is the first one in which you change color at the beginning of your forward pass, that is after you complete one full row that includes a forward and reverse pass, and then you go ahead and change color at the beginning of the forward pass. So you can see that the reverse pass chain and the forward pass vertical bars are the same color. This is the next method where you change color at the beginning of your reverse pass. So if you see, all the vertical bars are of the same color and the reverse pass chain in the back is of a different color, which goes, it's the same for these three lines. So I'm going to show you how to do multiple lines using this technique. This is the third one where you will change color in the middle of a row. So this technique will work for if you're working on graphgans or you want to make a small any design which uses multiple colors, and you can use this technique for that. So in this video I'm going to go over all three of these and I'll show you how to do them one by one. So I'm going to start with this one, which is changing color at the beginning of the forward pass. So here I have this little swatch that I made. It is Tunisian simple stitches. Just need to keep in mind that there are different stitches where in some stitches you can see the reverse pass chain in the front, but there are some where you cannot. Like for instance, the knit stitch, you won't be able to see the reverse pass chain. Different stitches create different fabric, and the front and back are different, so you'd have to experiment and see what stitch works what way. But for this video I'm going to use Tunisian simple stitches to explain how to do this. So for this first one I'm going to make a forward pass and a reverse pass and complete the full row. So if you have any questions about how to make this swatch, how to begin, or how to make the forward and reverse passes, then I have separate videos for those, which I will link in the description below. So in this video I'm just going to show you how to change color, and that's what the focus will be. So this is the end of my forward pass, and I'm going to now make the reverse pass. So I'm going to stop when there are 2 loops on my hook. And at this point I'm going to change my color. I'm going to add my next color. So I have another color here. I'm just going to make a little loop, and I hold it in my hook and I pull it through. Then I make this one just a little bit tight. I don't pull it all the way, but just a little tight, so it matches. So if you look at this, it matches this chain, so they should be the same size approximately. So now I have attached this. I'm going to make my forward pass with this color that I just attached. And that's the end of the forward pass, and now I'm going to make my reverse pass just the same way as any other row. And here I'm going to stop and I'm going to change color again. So if I weren't changing colors again, I would just go ahead and yarn over, pull through 2, but I am going to change color at this point. So I'm going to pick up my previous color here, and I'm going to yarn over and pull through both loops. Again, I'm just pulling this enough so that this chain here and this chain are about the same size, and I'm going to now make my next row with this color. So that's the end of the forward pass, and the reverse pass is just the same as any other row. So I just completed this row. I'm not going to change color again. I just wanted to show you how to do that. So if you see, this is similar in that this entire row, so this last stitch here, the one at the edge, that counts as a part of that row. So that's one full row, and if you block this, it will sit straight pretty much. But you need to make sure that you have that last stitch like that, and for that you have to just make the edge stitch as you'd normally make it. So there's nothing very different in this. It's only that you have to attach your new yarn when you have 2 loops on your hook at the beginning of the forward pass. So that's all you need to remember. Now I'm going to move on and show you how to do this, which is changing color at the beginning of the reverse pass. So I'm going to pick up this previous swatch that I was working on. So I have a separate tutorial for just this technique, which was to change color at the beginning of the reverse pass. And I made that tutorial a while back when I had just started learning Tunisian crochet, and I have learned new things since then. And I think that the technique I'm going to show you today works slightly better in how the edge stitch is made. So while that video is correct, it's not incorrect, but I like to use this technique now. So if you I'm going to add a link to that video in the description in case you want to check it out, but I prefer this technique now, just so you know. So I'm going to start with making the forward pass in this color. And make the edge stitch just like I normally would. And now at this point, I'm not going to change color just yet. I'm going to make that chain in the end before I attach the new color. So I made that chain in the end, and this is when I'm going to attach new color. So I have that chain here, and I'll tell you why I did that. So I have that chain here. I'm going to attach this new yarn and pull that through, and then I'm going to close this loop tightly. So this time I'm going to close it properly. I'm not going to leave it loose, and then I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2 all the way till the beginning. So if you look at this, remember I talked about this edge stitch. So that edge stitch must match the color of that row, and that edge stitch over here is formed by that chain that you make at the end. So if you don't make this chain and you attach the other color, then this edge stitch would become a different color, and that's something that we don't want. So you have to chain one and then change colors, because so that the chain at the back here at the reverse pass, that is the only one which is of the different color and not this edge stitch. So this is what is different from my previous video. I used to do this differently, and I like to do this now, and it works out better. So I'm going to do this once more. So now with this color, I'm going to go ahead and make the forward pass. And for the edge stitch, I had that chain, so I'm going to pick up the 2 edge stitches, 2 vertical bars from that chain that I made in that color, and then I'm going to yarn over and pull through. And if you see that maintained that last row, the last stitch for that last row, so it's of the same color. So for this, I'm going to now chain 1 just like that previous row, and then I'm going to pull this yarn forward and pick the other one at the back, and I'm going to attach. So I'm going to pull that loop close and then pull this loop. the one with the old yarn, and with the new one I'm going to make my reverse pass, yarn over, pull through 2 all the way to the beginning of this row. So that's how it's looking. Again, if you see that this purple color matched that purple on that row, and this last stitch, edge stitch for this row, is the same color as the forward pass of this row. I'm going to make it one more time and show you how I did it. So just make your forward pass just as you normally would. And these are the 2 vertical bars from the chain that we made in the previous row here of that previous row's color, forward pass color, and then yarn over, pull through, so that if you see this, you can see how that edge stitch matches the row. For this one, for this one, this is purple, and this one is tan, and it matches. So for this row also I'm going to chain 1, and that's when I'm going to attach the new yarn. So I'm going to bring this yarn forward and pick the other one at the back and then attach. That's when I close this loop with the purple, and then I yarn over, pull through 2 all the way to the beginning. So that's how it looks. So you can see here that for this one, the forward and reverse pass colors are the same. So the vertical lines and the chain at the back are the same color. That is when we changed color at the beginning of the forward pass. Now we change color at the beginning of the reverse pass. So if you look at all the vertical bars, they're the same color, and all the chains in the back are of the same color. So that concludes how you change color at the beginning of the reverse pass. So this is exactly what I'm doing here. So if you look here, it's orange and tan, and this is purple and tan. It's the same effect in these 3 rows and these 3 rows right here. Now I'm going to show you how to change color in the middle of working a row. And as I said, you can use this technique to make graph gowns, or you could just make a small pattern in between, and you could make squares, rectangles, whatever you like. So here it goes. So this is a swatch with 10 stitches, so I'm going to divide it in half. I'm going to do 5 and 5, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 stitches. At this point I'm going to change color. So to change color here, I have this other yarn. So I'm going to start with inserting my hook here, and then sort of attaching this by holding this yarn in this hook and pull through, and that's pretty much it. So I'm going to leave that loose end at the back, and I'm going to make the rest of the row, the forward pass of the rest, with that second color. So that's how it is. And then I'm going to make the reverse pass with this color until the point where I began with that color, and now I'm going to change back to this color because I want the reverse pass to be the same color. So if you look at this, the forward and reverse passes are of the same color. So this is orange in the front and orange in the back, and this one is tan in the front and tan at the back. So the forward and reverse pass are of the same color for the section that we're making that color. So we're using that color. So for this section, the forward and reverse passes are in orange, and for this section, the forward and reverse passes are in tan. So now to switch to purple in this, I'm going to take this yarn, I'm going to move it to the other side, and I'm going to pick up the purple from the back. Sorry, so this has to be behind the hook, going the other side, and then you pick up this yarn and pull through 2, and you complete your row. So what we're doing is, you'll see as we make more rows that we're sort of interlocking these two yarns at the back so they don't unravel. And while we do that, it's important to make sure that you're crossing them the right way. Otherwise, you'll also have a long tail at the a long loose thread at the back. So this will also take care of that. You just have you'll have two sections which are nicely tight, to each other, and you won't have any loose thread in the back. So I'm going to show you how it looks. I'm going to make one more row here. Start with the same color. And I'm going to stop here. And now to interlock, I'm going to hold this yarn and move it to the side and pick up the other one from the back. And then I'm going to make the rest. So this is how it's looking at the back. So I just crossed this to the purple to the other side, and I picked up the tan. And I'm going to make the rest of the row. This color, and then the reverse pass till the beginning of that section. And now again, this has to be at the top, so move this on the other side and pick up this purple yarn from the bottom and continue working with that. So if you see these, you'll get a nice line at the back where these are interlocked, and you won't have to worry about loose yarn hanging in the back. I'm going to make a few more rows to show you how it looks. So again, we start with this. If you find my speed, if you find that I'm too fast for you, there is a feature in YouTube where you can slow down a video. It's that little gear at the bottom where you can set the speed to less than the original speed, or you can make it faster. So if you find this to be really fast for you, you can use that and slow it down a bit and see how exactly how it goes. So one more time, all the way to the point that you have to change color. Make sure that this working yarn is at the top, and then pick up the other one from the back and continue making the forward pass with that new color. Then make the reverse pass, and then again the working yarn stays at the top, and pick up the other one from the back. This stays at the top but behind the hook, I'm sorry. So it stays at the top but behind the hook, and you pick up the purple one and then complete the row. I'm going to do one more because this was really hard for me to figure out as I was doing it, so if it might help to look at it one more time. So make the forward pass, this yarn stays at the top, pick this up from the bottom, complete the forward pass with that second color, reverse pass, and then this stays at the top behind the hook, and then you pick up the other one and then yarn over, pull through two all the way to the beginning. So there are a couple of things I want to mention here. If you had another section here, you'd have to use another skein of yarn or another ball of yarn to attach over here. So you cannot continue using the same yarn that you were using in this section in another. So you'd have as many colors as you have, you'd need those many balls of yarn, or you could use bobbins. So you'd need that, and this is how it's looking at the back. So you see that there is this nice interlocking going on at the back, so you don't have to worry about this. And it'll just keep going depending on how long your section is. So you can continue working with this, or you could just make another row of just a single color row, and that'll work. You don't have to do anything extra for that. So that's how it is. And one more thing with this technique of changing color in the middle of the row, I find that I don't have to keep switching my yarn skeins or balls, because they untangle themselves because I'm going in one direction and then I'm flipping the direction. So it just sort of, you don't have to keep moving your yarn to the other side or untangling your yarn while changing color this way. I'd also like to mention that Jessica Hamrick from Tunisian Crochet Grafcan Boutique, I think that's what it is. She teaches how to create grafcans, and I think she has a great method of changing color, which is slightly different than what I do here. And I will add a link in the description below for her method as well. If you're making grafcans, I think that's a great method to use. So if you want to check that out, but this one works really well, and this is how it's looking. So the first one is changing color at the beginning of the forward pass. So that's 2 rows of that, and then there is 4 rows of changing color at the beginning of the reverse pass, where you have to remember to chain 1 before you change the color. And then there is the section where you're changing color in the middle of the row, where you have to remember to cross your yarn the right way, so that you can get this nice clean line at the back where the transition happens. Otherwise you'll have this loose hanging thread here, and it won't be the fabric won't be as sturdy as it is when you do it this way. So that is pretty much all I had for this tutorial. If you have any questions, you're welcome to reach out to me, and I have a bunch of other tutorials on my channel. I have a lot of free patterns on my blog, which you're welcome to check out as well. So if you like this video, like and subscribe, share it with your friends, and I will see you in my other videos. Thank you.